Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 6.4, and one thing I should elaborate at start of this question. Right now from 6.1 to few more questions, these are introductory questions. Basically our topic is interest and bond valuation, and still we are trying to understand basic concepts related to bond valuation and interest. Numerical problems are yet to be started, so you will have to be very patient since these questions will give you a great help in understanding and calculations, formulas, and numerical point of views of these problems. Right now you will understand the terms and you will see the relationship of several elements related to interest and bond valuation. Chapter number 6, Interest and Bond Valuation, Managerial Finance, Lawrence Gateman. So for now, we will be looking forward for 6.4. As you can see, the volume of the question is suggesting like it's not a big question. Look, that's all. The question ends over here. And requirement, when you will see, we only need to draw a yield curve. The graph is required in this question and a short description what that curve is showing to us, and that's all. So small question, and you will be learning the relationship between two elements. Come to the first line, and here a firm wishing to evaluate interest rate behavior has gathered the yield data for 5 US Treasury securities. Right now, US Treasury securities, for the time being, just consider it as an investment organization. Treasury securities mean you can invest your amount in these securities with which you can get benefit in terms of return or in terms of interest. Right, in Pakistan we do have several investment companies like Mizan Investment Limited or other banks. They are offering, if you will invest, if you will deposit your amounts in those investment companies, you will get a particular rate of return. So try to understand this US Treasury securities for the timing, just consider it as a bank. Each having different maturity and all measured at the same point in time. The summarized data is below. So we have different opportunities showing that if you will deposit your amount for 1 year, you will get 12.6 year. If you will deposit your amount for 10 years, you will get 11.2. In this way, different rate of returns are giving, and we want to know what is the relationship between time and the yield. So obviously, as usual, we have x-axis and y-axis. Here we will present this graph, and over here let's start making it. We will be having x-axis and y-axis. Here is your y-axis and then x-axis. Just let let put the lines needed over here. Little slow my system is. Y-axis has been drawn, and now we need to put x-axis. So it has been completed as well. Okay, now please understand that we need to put year 1 is your minimum and 20 is your maximum year. So how many lines we do have on x-axis? First we will draw them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. So in between these 7 lines you can divide 20, so 3 years can be chosen. So let's start our work. Years would be mentioned over here: 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 and 18. How many total number? 20. So last 21 would also be needed. Here you have mentioned your years. Alright. So for y-axis you will be putting rate of interest, and that is mentioned over here. Look, least amount is 11 Yes, 11, and maximum amount is 12.6. So within one single point, your yield can be presented. Over here, I will let you understand a new way of making your graph. Over here, first you will cut down y-axis into two parts. And here you can see that you have cut it down. And this particular divider you will use over here. Right. What this divider means? Whenever you will make your graph, I have already made it. You can draw by pencil when you will be putting your data on your paper. This divider means that there are some values before this and remaining values does have the sequence. So since we do have only one point of differentiation, so let's start it with 11, and then we need 11.5, after which we have 12, and then 12.5. Within 4 points we can complete our data. 12.6 is needed, 12.5, and we have 13 as well. All right, so you can put one more line, 13. In this way you can complete it, but please understand there are different ways of putting your data. You may put 11, you may have 11.3, 11.4, whatever. So between these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, we will be able to complete our graph. Let's start. For first year, we need to put 12.6. Okay, so for first 12.6, let's input a pointer over here, and this pointer we will make its size accordingly. So first point, you will have to go to first year or 1 year. In between 0 and 3 there will be 1.5, and just little more left side you will get your 1, and in front of 1 you need to go to 12.6. Look, this point shows 12 and this is showing 12.5, and in between 12.5 and 13 you will have 6. So just above you have got the point. So this point is showing at first year or 1 and 12.6. Now let's see what is your second data. 10 years 11.2. Go to 10 years. In between these 2 points there are 3 points, so we have 10 over here. In front of 10 we are willing to go at 11.2. Look, here we have 11, and in between 11.5 and 11 we will have 11.2. So we have got our second point. Let's do the third. 6 months 13. 6 months would be in between 1 and 0. So 6 months we have got, and we need to go to 13. 13 is right above. Alright guys, so we have our third point, and now we will be looking forward for our fourth point. Let's see where we are going. 20 years. 20 years would be over here, and for 20 years we need to put point at 11. 11 is just over here, so we have got our point. Now we will be pointing out our last point, 5 years. First we will go to 5 years. 5 would be less than 6 but more than 3. We have got 5, and in front of 5 we need to go 11.4. 11.4 would be just under 11.5. So all points have been mentioned over here. So we need to align them accordingly. Let's match them. Okay, to join these lines, what we will do, point 1 would be associated with point 2, a line we are taking. Okay, so first line will join in this way, and we may have the second line as well. Yes, we can take it. And next line would be joined with third point first and fourth point. Then we have our last point stretched with fourth and fifth point. Alright guys, as you can see that our graph has been completed. So here you have put your years, and at y-axis yield or interest percentage was mentioned. So you can see that this interest percentage was from 11 to 13 and years were from 0 to 21 years. And your trend has been drawn over here. Slope is very clear. It is negatively sloped. First element which we have noticed that it is negative slope. What does that mean? Continuously it is dropping from first point to last point. There is a continuous drop. That is why we are asking it, or we are saying it, negative sloped. Negatively sloped, and A part is completed. Draw yield curve associated with these data. With this data, describe resulting yield curve. We have already described it that it is negatively sloped, and explain the general expectation embodied in it. So what you are learning from it, when it is negatively sloped, it means there is inverse relation between time and interest. Inverse relation means if due to increase in number of years, rate of return would be decreased. But it's not necessary that you can make this as universal principle. Just for this question, we have understood that as your years are increasing, your rate of interest is being dropped. Due to increase in number of year, rate of return would be decreased. It is called inverse relationship. So finally, description is also completed. Describe the resulting yield curve in part A and explain general expectations. And we have already mentioned, if you will increase your number of year, your rate of interest or yield or rate of return would be dropped. And that was the description related to it. So finally, our question has been completed. It was a short question. We were only required to make yield curve. We have made it, and then we were asked to describe it, and description in 3 different ways we have already defined. You can take screenshot and please save it for your further future studies. 6.4 is completed, graph is completed, review is completed, and we have explained the description as well. For this particular question, we have made a principal relationship. As time would be increased, your rate of return would be dropped. Everything related to 6.4 has been explained, but even then you are very open to ask your question related to this graph and this concept through messages, text, or you can directly meet for solution of your queries. I will try to answer them instantly. For the time being, 6.4 is completed, and hopefully we will be looking each other for the solution of any other question in future. Up till then, please take care of yourself, and I'm requesting you to please pray for me as well. And another request, don't leave this question without practice. That means if even you have understood how to draw the graph, you are requested to please draw it by yourself on the paper. Just listening is not enough, just watching is not enough. Practice is more important, so it is requested after watching this lecture, just make this graph for 2, 3, 4 times. In this way, your memory would be very hard. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.